Hey everybody, what is up? It is I, Link, coming at you with a community gameplay. Couldn't find any from you guys, so I decided to go with Zergling. Yet again, this is Zergling2010, and this is him playing Nidalee. I think I did a Nidalee gameplay earlier this week, or last week. I want to say it was this week. He builds her kind of differently from mine, but he has been playing this game longer than I have. He's got quite a few wins. They have an Udyr in the jungle. They have a Cass in mid going up against her counter, and a kog'maw in Lulu bot, which is kind of deadly, especially if, well, help picks on the kog'maw. Kog'maw's extra attack speed, and yeah, it just destroys. Not much to really talk about before the game actually starts. Going with a quite interesting build. This is a regrowth pendant and health potion, which pretty much allows Zergling to stay in lane longer. Now, as you can see, it's about 2 minutes, and the replay's already, well, it's close to over, which is kind of sad. But anyway, this was recorded before the big patch, and there's not much to really see. Like, you can't see the experience or the actual regeneration, but I'm guessing, let's see, does it say per 5? Yeah, 21. That's pretty good. I mean, this gives 15, so 21 health over 5 at this level is kind of fast. I mean, just watch the health go right back up. It also does scale, so it allows her to stay in lane a lot longer. Nidalee versus Nidalee is interesting. Also, Cass gets first blood on a very zealous Kassadin. This Nidalee is actually going to be going AD, while this one, well, Zergling is going AP, which is kind of interesting because it was a mirror match at the beginning of the game, but then it's going to turn into something much more. Now, Cass, the only reason that Cass and Cass, one's with a K, one's with a C. Follow me here. The reason that Cass and Cass are a counter because Kassadin, he gets stacks on his E from abilities cast, and that's how most of the damage is done by Cassinopia, I think. I don't know. So he'll be able to spam that much more often. Although Udyr does come in, slow him down, and force him to blink away. Down bot, we see a kill lane. Let's actually unlock the camera and slow this down. They have a Nautilus and a... where'd he go? It was Nautilus and Urgot, which is quite a mean... also, Kassadin does kill Cass, because, yet again, it's now a little bit later in the game, so he has much more power. And by later in the game, I mean he can now Rift Walk. So, yeah, that's what I mean by later. This lane's kind of interesting because kog'maw. Sorry, that laugh. Urgot can target one of them with his bomb and then just spam in those pincers. I've never played Urgot, and I actually need to look him up because I really haven't learned the names of any of his abilities. One of them has like a giant unpronounceable name, but anyway, this isn't about Urgot. Nautilus could quickly grab any of them and then root them to the ground, but Mundo comes in from the back trying to do some damage, and we just see how this plays out. He does get hit with Noxian Corrosive Charge, and then Zen Touch, whatever. There's 4 of them down bot, and no one called MIA. You actually look at the chat. So that was kind of a dick move on Cass's part. Now we're going to go back up, see Udyr jungling, and the two Nidalees still having their fights. Although right here they both go into Cougar form and they do some damage to each other. Not much to really say about that, but the other one does have health potions over Zergling, but Zergling has a Philosopher's Stone, which is much better in my opinion, because it does regen over the time, not just a small amount of a lot of regen. Right now, Zergling actually has a disadvantage in lane, but this will be quickly turned away. Also, Nautilus just trying to run away from all four of them. Didn't quite work. Cass gets some farm, and you were going back up to Zergling. Not much to really say about this, although Zergling will turn this around with a couple nicely placed spears. And there's the Ignite, doing some nice damage, and picking up a spear, and picking her up with the Ignite's final tick. Nautilus down bot again, and Kassadin in mid, which really, well, there's not much to talk about right now because there's no real action. Nidalee actually returning to pick up a Sheen and a Ruby Crystal. Ruby Crystal is actually to build the Phage, which is used for the item that Nidalee is going to end with. Now Udyr going up and getting seen by the Mundo and trying to engage, but Lulu comes in out of nowhere and they pick up a quick Mundo. As they go down, they go after the Urgot, get Urgot, and force Nautilus to stand there by his turret. But yeah, I've actually never seen this matchup before, because you could throw health picks to kog'maw. Kog'maw using his artillery shot and just hitting from a distance, along with Pix's attacks doing more damage. That would actually be quite a killer lane. Although they do get ganked, and kog'maw gets picked up. Ichiden surprise does some damage to Nautilus, while Udyr stays in lane, or stays in bush, while the Lulu is sitting here. But up top, we're having a small fight between the two, and she gets picked up. Most of the fight was just them pouncing back and forth, and then Nidalee got an extra hit out of nowhere. So it's kind of interesting. Let's super speed this because this yet again more idle time. Like I said, not really much to talk about right now, and it's not even close to 20-minute mark because I don't think they make it to the 20-minute mark. I think they make it to 22, maybe. But I think we'll show builds in a matter of seconds, and I hope that I won't screw up any of the builds like I did last time. Last time I actually called one of the items the wrong name, and I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out. Let's see. Now sitting on your turret, forcing other Nidalee to stay around the turret for a while, but Kassadin picks up another Cass pick. As they go down bot, they chase after the Mundo, getting picked up and getting forced to blink, shutting down Kassadin and killing Mundo. Now they're all mid, and they're going to take a nice turret. But that Nautilus doesn't want to have it. As Cass is going down bot to go and mess with Urgot. Had to sneeze there. Anyway, up top now with the Phage in Claw, since it's a cougar. I don't know. Try to make a joke here. Since she now has her Phage, her basic attack will slow, which most people do know. This allows her to hit with her basic if she's ever giving chase, or one of her attacks as the cougar, and be able to slow the target and make up room. Now, just watching these two is kind of mind-boggling, because she's building against ability power and building AD, and she's just building pure damage, which you can kind of see how they're working out. I mean, Blue's Nidalee isn't able to do as much damage as Purple's Nidalee. Also, they boarded, and Udyr comes from nowhere, just doing some damage, and she jumps over the wall. But Lulu getting shut down, and Nautilus being killed by kog'maw. You can probably tell by the positioning that Lulu was in there with picks. I actually would need to rewatch that if I want to actually say what it is. Anyway, we're already at the 20-minute mark, and I think I'm going to slow it down as I watch the two Nidalees fight it out. There we go. The CS is pretty standard for solo top and jungler, actually doing really well. Lulu has a little bit more CS than she should. kog'maw doesn't have enough. Although Udyr coming in, and they are going to try and pick up this Nidalee. Udyr going past all the minions, trying to land another hit with his bear style, and lands it. Getting the stun, going behind turret, killing, going right back into his bear style and running. Or bear stance. Like I said, I've actually only played about 50 of the champions in League of Legends. All I know is it's different fighting styles, so excuse me for my being wrong. Anyway, we're going to watch Nidalee destroy a turret as I go through this. And kog'maw picking up some normal AD, has one Doran Blade, which is good because he does have Lulu. Nidalee looks like building the Trinity Force. Not sure what boots they're going with. Cass getting picked up in mid yet again by Kassadin, yet again. Udyr going quite tanky with Merc Treads, Wit's End, and Wriggle's Lantern, doing damage and very tanky. Lulu being support and looks like maybe getting a Heart of Gold next, along with the Ionian boots. Cass with Sorcerer's Shoes and a Rod of Ages that is just about to start snowballing. A somewhat tanky Urgot. Nautilus going very support tank-esque. Kind of hard to do because Nautilus can be a support with very little actual items as such. He will have to take a little bit of CS, like this one took enough. This, like, if you actually go to my yesterday's video, you can watch my Nautilus gameplay, and you can see, or was, I don't know, was yesterday's Nautilus? I can't remember. Yeah, it was. Then you have their Nidalee trying pretty good. Udyr picking up a kill over here, as we can see, getting Lulu getting killed by Nautilus, and him getting stuck in between both of them and getting picked up as they get closed in by Nidalee and Urgot. Urgot now running away because he is low, trying to get us away, but Udyr will not have it. He swaps places with him right there, which I don't really understand, as he goes after him. But top, they are going to go after this Nidalee. Nidalee's kind of low. Urgot being picked up by Basics, and kog'maw acing it. Now, let's see, I was at the bottom of the build, and Mundo going pretty tanky like a normal Mundo should, and his CS is decent. Okay. This is about the end of the game here. We're going to have a couple more team fights, as Cass comes out of nowhere, trying to land some hits, and Zergling goes in there trying to do something. Not really much. Throws a javelin back, and does land it on what looks like possibly Cass. Because Cass does have his passive, the Riftstone. I actually really want to start playing Cass. I might buy him later today and play him over the weekend. But anyway, besides that, he's going to run over that trap, kind of making himself a lot more delicate to damage. As you can see, it lowers his magic resistance and armor, and allows him to be seen, so it's quite a good skill. Throwing the spear, not landing it on anyone, but Mundo coming in, trying to do something, and that Mundo, I don't know about that Mundo. Now, those three all mid, and Udyr and kog'maw on their way on the rollout. kog'maw's actually going bot, but these guys, Lulu decides to ward up top. We're going to speed this up just a little bit, as we can see those two going top to pick up a free kill, which they actually don't see because Nidalee actually ran down when she started overextending. But there's going to be a small team fight here. Oh, as you can see, where'd it go? The Kassadin is going to be the first one targeted, and they're going to go right after the Nidalee. With Zergling having Lulu's buff, going to slow and do some damage to the other Nidalee, trying to save Cass from dying. Does not work, but being picked up. Mundo and Nautilus now running back to their turret for safety, as their surrender vote goes out, but their surrender vote does go out and is heard. If you enjoy the content provided, leave a like. If you want to stay current, subscribe. And if you want to have your replay featured, send it to me in a private message. And I'll talk to you all later.